Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have Ria Singh, technical analyst, currencies joining in. Ria, overall, if you go to see, yesterday we did hear a couple of comments that did come in from Powell. Uh, in terms of the dollar index as well, the kind of moves that we have been witnessing, uh, what's the sense that you're picking up? Because currently in yesterday's session, if you talk about the dollar index, it plunged to levels of almost around 99.56. But there was a swift recovery that did come in on that front. What's the sense that you're picking up?
Hello, Hiral. So, if you look at the yesterday's, it was quite a volatile session that we witnessed in the dollar index. So, the dollar index fell firstly on the basis of the weak data that was coming in on the part of the US, the weak CPI data, the weak PPI data, which measures the price goods sold by the US manufacturers, which was declined to around 1.3% against the expectation of 0.5%. So that was a very huge decline for the month. So there was mainly these negative data that was coming in, and there was a anticipation that there will be a negative rate cut that will be happening ahead of the Fed speech. So a lot of these data. So because if this would have happened, dollar would have crashed significantly if the negative rates would have come in. So
Right.
all yeah, so in the anticipation of the Powell speech and the negative data, we saw that there was a plunge towards 99.56. Then the Fed Chairman Powell's speech, began, and he scratched the idea of the negative rates for now and stated that he will be ready to support the economy further, but with a different perspective rather than resorting to the negative rates. So, as these statements came in, we saw the dollar index rally above 100, 100 levels, sitting at 100.36 right now.
Right. So that's an interesting fact that yes, it was mainly the commentary that we heard from Powell as well that actually came as a rescue. But going ahead, overall, if you go to see ahead of the Fed meet as well, what's the kind of performance are you expecting with regards to the dollar index?
See, I think the dollar index will be in the range of 99 to 101. It is a range that will be, that we will see for quite a long sessions, because when whenever there is these negative data are coming in, but obviously where will the investors resort to when they want to get their money into safeguard from this very volatile market? It will direct to the safe haven. So dollar will remain as a safe haven going forward, and I think this will keep the dollar index within the range of 99 to 101.
Okay, so that's with regards to where the dollar index goes. But overall, if even if you see in terms of where the investors are concerned, they held almost on $9.1 billion negative bet on the dollar, and this is data that we are picking up as for week ending the 5th of May. And this actually makes it the eighth consecutive week where we've seen short dollar bets. What is that data actually indicating for the traders?
Yes. So if you look at the data, this data was released by CTFC. So if you look, there are two parties into this. So one party is the leveraged investors, the hedge funds, which are pushing for a weaker dollars. But then there is institutional investors who are looking the dollar, as a safe haven, and are predicting a dollar strength.
Hmm.
So, but the fact that these two parties are picking up, see, this was the data before, by the weekend of the May 5th, before the Powell speech. So, like I said, there was a lot of talks going around with respect to the negative ratings that will, negative interest rate that will come in, which would eventually crash the dollar to quite an extent. So this was one factor that was picked up by the parties who were going for a short bet on the dollar, whereas they were also looking at as the long term thing, because uh, we they are expecting that at the second half of the year there will be some improvement in this pandemic situation. There will be some restarting that will be happening in the economy. So that is what is correlating with this short position that is happening. But like I said, there are institutional investors who are betting on the dollar gains, because unlikely, if you look, the numbers are still coming in bad. The pandemic situation is still rising. So this is what is actually relating the numbers to. But if you look at the current data which are coming in by the same CFTC data, there has been decline into some of these short positions.
Mm. Right, so that's an interesting fact that we're picking up. Apart from that, Ria, if you have to talk about the euro and the pound as well, a couple of macroeconomic data that we've seen, Eurozone's industrial production actually dipped to the tune of almost around 11.3%. If you talk about the March number, uh, and that dip overall has been less than what was expected, because the expectation on an average was around 12.5%. The German government has come out and said that they are aiming to fully reopen the borders by the 15th of June. And then, if you talk about UK, the first quarter GDP has contracted by around 2%. And if you see UK industrial production, that has declined by around 4.2% on a monthly basis. Manufacturing production has slid as well. Taking all these data points into consideration, what's the sense that you're picking up? Do you think that weakness that we are seeing in terms of where the pound to the dollar pair goes, that is expected to continue? And in turn, we will see that strength on the euro dollar pair.
Uh, there are various points that you stated here. So if you just predict those points, you can just get it, where you can see the pound and the euro into the coming session. But like you said, there is a lot of negative data that is coming on, not only from the US, but also from the other economies all around the world. Now, if you look at the UK, it is the worst hit country in this pandemic. The contraction in the GDP is quite, depressing, and it is most likely to continue because uh, even if the economy reopens it will be at a very slow pace. There will be, the kind of time that it will take to actually get back that same pace of the economy is quite uncertain. But if you let's see if going forward, because the statement that has come in from the BOE, they have stated that they are into the full, they are ready to combat this situation. They are ready to get into it when it in respect to the pound weakening to curb that depreciation. But as you said, the data are negative. If you look at the service sector data for the UK, it has declined by 1.9%. Now, service sector is one of very important sectors in the UK because it employs millions of people there. So a decline into that number will reflect into the unemployment data. So the this service sector's number, weak PMI data are all factoring into the weakness of the uh, pound against the USD.
Hmm.
Apart from this, there is then other issue which was ongoing, like the US trade China. The thing that was battling, the UK was battling, was with the Brexit concern.
Absolutely.
Yes. So if you look at those part, there is very little or no progress at all. The difference between the UK and the EU is still on the same pace. There is still a lot of difference between their opinions on the key issues, such as the UK went ahead. To for a Canadian style agreement, which will help the UK, in removing all the tariffs and quotas on most of the term, but it was rejected by the EU, say that it will not favor the EU terms. Then there is a conflict as to who will get the total control of the fishing, the rich fishing waters. So there's a lot of conflict that is there on key issues, which are also not helping into the favor of the pound so far. So I think the weakness in the pound will continue in the coming sessions.
Right. So, what will be the strategies that you would suggest for today's day of trade, Ria?
Yes. So if you look at today, I think the best strategical pair to go into today will be USD and JPY. That
Mm,
would be a much safer bet for today, because I think pound and euro will be in a quite of a consolidation phase, and it will be a much riskier trade to go for. For USD, if you look at, there was a gap down that had happened yesterday on the anticipation of the financial package that was released in, but it took the pair took a quite a rebound from there. So
mm.
I think any open above 75.50 will lead the pair further into the green zone, and one can definitely go for a buy of 75, 65, 75, 70 into the coming session with a strict SL of 75.30, of course. And for JPY, you can definitely look for a breakout of 70 point. 25 to go for a buy into that with a strict SL of 70, 10 around.
Right. All right, Ria. Pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for sharing those strategies and the overall outlook as well. Thank you very much.